I supported Joe Biden, and millions of other Americans voted for Joe Biden because he promised to unite us. He promised to bring us together, to end the divisiveness. Now, sadly, not only has he failed to do this, he has betrayed us all by pouring fuel on the fires of divisiveness that are tearing our country apart. Now, Biden compares those who disagree with him to racists, traitors, to enemies of bygone eras. And Biden now has his attorney general targeting millions of Americans as domestic terrorists.
We face an elevated threat from domestic violent extremists. That is, individuals in the United States who seek to commit violent criminal acts in furtherance of domestic, social, or political goals. Domestic violent extremists are often motivated by a mix of ideologies and personal grievances. We've seen a growing threat from those who are motivated by racial animus, as well as those who ascribe to extremist, anti-government, and anti-authority ideologies.
So if we allow this to continue, our country, the country that we love, the land of the free, the home of the brave, it'll be unrecognizable and it'll be lost forever.
All right, guys, so that is Tulsi Gabbard ripping Biden on video for the divisiveness that this man has caused in this country, right? He said that he was going to be the unifier in chief, right? But from day one that this man been in the White House, he has been nothing but a divider in chief, to be quite honest with you, right? Because everybody that disagrees with him is a white supremacist, or, you know, they're on the side of the Confederacy. Kind of like the comparison that he made to people who are opposed to federalizing our elections. Take a look.
At consequential moments in history, they present a choice. Do you want to be on the side of Dr. King or George Wallace? Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis?
Yeah, if you disagree with Biden, then you're on the side of the former president of the Confederacy, right? That's the side that you're on. Who was a Democrat, by the way, right? They conveniently leave that out, right? But yeah, if you're against me, you are on the side of the Confederacy, right? According to Joe Biden. Bruh, you can't make this stuff up, bruh. These are the comparisons that these people use, okay? And it's ridiculous. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think I've ever heard Trump make such a ridiculous comparison or statement, right? Biden is the most divisive president that we've seen since Obama. Okay, that's probably where he got it from. That's probably where he learned how to be so divisive from. Probably from Obama, okay? Because I don't recall Trump being this divisive, right? And I think the most divisive thing that Biden is doing, outside of labeling anybody that disagrees with him as white supremacists, is labeling Americans, particularly parents, who are speaking out against government overreach in schools as domestic terrorists. And these newly leaked emails show that the Biden's White House, his education secretary, actually asked for the NSBA letter that compared protesting parents to domestic terrorists. You guys remember when this happened, right? The National School Board Association had sent a letter to Joe Biden basically saying, hey, listen, these parents are out of control, President Biden. We need your help. We need you to label them as domestic terrorists using the Patriot Act. You need to use the power of the government, aka the FBI, to go after those parents because we don't like criticism and we're scared. Please help us, Biden. Please help us. That's basically what the letter said in a nutshell, okay? Which is terrible, right? It's absolutely terrible that the National School Board Association is going to the president, asking him to use the powers of the government, right? The federal government, the FBI, to go after parents who disagree with government overreach in schools, right? But come to find out, based off this email, that it wasn't a one-sided affair. Again, Biden's education secretary allegedly asked for this letter that compared protesting parents to domestic terrorists. So it seems to me, right, that the Biden administration was in on initiating the process of labeling parents as domestic terrorists and using the FBI to go after them, right? Biden has essentially declared a war on parents, okay? He was in on that, right? At least his administration was, which means that he was, okay? So let's read here because this is some crazy stuff. Recently published emails have revealed that Education Secretary Miguel Cardona requested the now infamous letter from the National School Board Association that equated concerned and protesting parents to domestic terrorists. The email exchange, obtained by the parents group Parents Defending Education via a Freedom of Information Act request, revealed that Cardona had been more involved with the creation of the letter than previously known by the public. The NBSA letter suggested that the Patriot Act be used against parents as concerned mothers and fathers speak out at school board meetings across America on critical race theory in K-12 schools and COVID-19 mandates. The letter was used by the Biden administration's Department of Justice in creating a memo that directed the FBI to aid local educational officials that felt unsafe over the protests. In an email sent on October 5th, NSBA Secretary Treasurer Christy Sweat wrote that NSBA intern CEO Chip Slavin told the officers he was writing a letter to provide information to the White House from a request by Secretary Cardona. So what this says here is that this letter, right, that labeled parents as domestic terrorists was requested by Biden's education secretary, okay? Requested by the White House, which to me is a fireable offense. This man should be fired on the spot for requesting such a document, okay? Should be fired on the spot. Let's read more here. Quote, should these allegations be true, it would reveal that this administration's pretextual war on parents came from the highest level. PDE President Nicole Neely told Fox News, Attorney General Merrick Garland unequivocally stated that he based his memo on the NSBA's letter, which in turn mobilized the FBI and U.S. attorneys. Neely added, if Secretary Cardona was truly involved in this ugly episode, it is a significant breach of public trust and he should be held accountable. Yes, he should be fired. He should be fired immediately. Okay, and Biden, he should be impeached probably. You're declaring war on parents. You're calling them domestic terrorists simply for speaking out against their school boards. Like, what in the world, right? You want to talk about authoritarian? You want to talk about fascism? This right here is it, right? I never want to hear anything about fascism come out of a lefty's mouth ever again. This is the most fascist administration I've ever seen in my lifetime. For real, right? That's not even a joke. It was revealed in November that the NSBA had collaborated with the Biden administration for weeks leading up to the sending of the letter to the president in the fall of 2021. Quote, in the September 14th, 2021 meeting of the NSBA Organization of State Association Executive Directors, Liaison Group, they were informed there had been a meeting with White House staff that morning and that NSBA was preparing to send a letter to the president. Subsequently, on September 17, 2021, the interim executive director emailed notice to the state association executive directors that indicated a letter requesting federal assistance would be sent. A memo to NSBA state association officers and executive directors stated. The memo was sent to NSBA members on October 11th, but was dated October 12th regarding the letter they sent to Biden on September 29th. So to me, it sounds like what had happened was that they had been talking with the White House about this, right? They went to the White House like, hey, we got some issues with parents, right? We want to know how to deal with it, okay? And the White House staff probably said, hey, listen, what you can do is, you can send a letter to President Biden and we'll send the FBI after these parents. Okay, that's to me, it's kind of what it sounds like, right? Say, yeah, go ahead and send this letter over, right? We'll request it from you, and then we'll make sure Biden gets it. We'll make sure the language is right and all that other stuff, and we'll handle this, right? That's what it sounds like. In an email sent to Fox News, it was revealed that Viola Garcia, the president of the NSBA and the National Assessment Governing Board member, and NSBA executive Chip Slavin had discussed the issues with the White House for weeks and that they altered the text to satisfy White House staff. Yeah, just like I said, they basically have been like coordinating on this in terms of how to get it right for Biden, right? How to get it right for Biden. In talks over the last several weeks with White House staff, they requested additional information on some of the specific threats. So the letter also detailed many of the incidents that have been occurring. Slavin wrote in a September 29th email to the NSBA Board of Directors. Following the letter to Biden, the DOJ issued a memo directing law enforcement to investigate threats to school boards on October 4th, following rampant backlash regarding the letter. The NSBA issued an apology on October 22nd. All right. So when have you guys ever seen the government work this fast? I haven't, right? I ain't never seen the government work this fast, right? It seemed like this happened over less than a month, right? The NSBA, in my opinion, probably started talking to the White House about it. White House said, okay, we'll help y'all out on this. Send a letter to Biden, right? We're going to get the FBI on this, okay? We're going to make sure the big man, right? The big man gets it, okay? And they did it. And it moved very, very, very quickly and efficiently. Again, unheard of by the federal government. How fast they moved to mobilize the FBI against parents. Okay? And all of this stuff allegedly was facilitated by the Biden White House, right? You could argue that it was initiated by them, right? Because they're the ones that was like, send the letter. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones that was suggesting sending the FBI after them, labeling them as domestic terrorists, right? Because we already know from Biden's rhetoric how he feels about people that disagree with him. We already know how the Democrats have framed people that disagree with critical race theory and, mandates in school, right? They call you an anti-vaxxer, right? They say you're in a death cult. They say you're a racist. They say you're white supremacist. They, say that you're a part of the Confederacy. So who am I not to believe that the Biden administration wouldn't be the ones to initiate labeling parents as domestic terrorists? They have no problems labeling people other things, other derogatory terms when they don't agree with them, right? But hey, at this point, I've been covering this stuff a lot. If people haven't understood that Biden is not on your side, he is not on the side of the American people, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, this is the most fascist authoritarian administration I've ever seen in my life. And it's not even close. Not even close, right? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.